Okay, it's time to move on to the LA Rams draft analysis. They had nine or 10 picks. I can't remember. So let's get to it. And with their second round, 52nd overall pick, they picked Cam Akers, running back out of Florida State. I gave this pick a B plus. It's a need, no doubt, and it's a solid pick. And I think Akers will be a good addition to this Rams team. He's a good runner. He does not always need holes to be created for him, which is good, especially since that offensive line is weakening in LA. And he can catch the ball to the backfield if needed. So he also, surprisingly, I believe he was a quarterback in high school or middle school, and he does possess the ability to do a few trick plays if you need it. He completed a few passes while he was at Florida State, and they kind of used him sometimes for some trick plays, and most of the time they were pretty successful. So overall, the biggest knocks on Akers are his ball security, and despite his consistency, he's really not an explosive back. He'll get those consistent chunks of yards, but he won't get you the 50, 75, 80-yard touchdown. So his average will be more based on what he's actually doing per carry. It won't be 2 yards, 1 yard, no yard, 75 yards. It'll just be 4 or 5, 4 or 5, 3, 4 or 5, consistently gaining those yards. So his durability and pass blocking are also a little bit of some concern looking forward, but overall solid back, and I expect early production from him in LA. They had another second round pick, 57th overall. They drafted Van Jefferson, wide receiver out of Florida, and I gave this pick a B. Jefferson is a little bit more of a slot/possession wide receiver. Doesn't really possess big play capability. He's not really a deep threat or a monster at the point of catch. However, he will separate with his excellent route running and really try and gain as many yards after the catch as he can. And he could really move the ball upfield pretty quickly and efficiently. So look for Van Jefferson next year. I think he could be a decent player for LA in that very scheme-oriented offense. So I think McVay will be able to draw plays to get him open and get the ball in his hands. Or he'll just be a reliable option there if the first read is not there for Goff, in which they can gain some decent yards. So, good pick. It fills the offense and adds a piece to that offense that is very nice. So, their third round, 84th overall pick, they picked Turnell Lewis, I think, outside linebacker out of Alabama. I gave this pick a C+. He's a good player. He has potential, but I think he lacks durability and experience. Injuries really limited his playing time at Bama, and he needs to fill out that frame, which I don't know if that's been because he's been injured, but he really lacks the play strength needed to be good. So, although he's potential, he does have that frame. He needs to fill it out. He needs to stay on the field, and he's very inexperienced. So we'll see how long the Rams keep on to him and see how long they'll keep him on as a developmental piece. So that's why I gave that pick a C+. Not really a sure thing out of the gate, but you hope maybe the development won't take as long, but it is a little bit of a gamble. They had another third round, 104th overall pick, which they picked Terrell Burgess, safety out of Utah. I gave this pick an A-. This was a good pick by the Rams in the third round. Burgess is a good player on and off the field. He has the frame, size, speed, and strength that you like in a safety for the NFL. He had quality year last year, picking up the position quickly as he actually was a former defensive back turned safety. He prepares off the field like few other. His preparation has really been stated by the coaches time and time again that they're just one of the best things about him. So he comes prepared and he works hard. He plays hard. His work ethic is great, and his versatility is desirable on the field as well, playing from multiple areas of the field. He's got very good field vision and discipline, especially for a guy who's only played the position for a year. So you gotta like that, and I think it's a good pick and neat position for LA. And I really think the way he picked up the position so quickly, it shows me there's no way he's done developing, and it's scary to think where he actually could go and be actually one of the better safeties in this league. So really, I think they found a gem with Burgess in the third round here. Fourth round, 136 overall, they picked Bryson Hopkins, tight end out of Purdue. Gave this pick a C plus because I think although Hopkins is very athletic and that there is a lot to work with, I think for tight ends he needs to improve his strength slightly, and the size and speed are nice, complement to the game, but the strength is a little lacking. His pass catching and blocking and route running have all been pretty inconsistent, which is not good. And overall, I think since tight end wasn't the biggest need, I think the pick was a little bit of a mistake and maybe a little bit of a reach. But the positive thing is he does have a little bit of potential to work with. Round 6, they didn't have another pick. They didn't have any 5th round, so they had one in the 6th round, which was 199th overall, or might have been 149th, which they selected Jordan Fuller, safety out of Ohio State. Gave this pick a C because Fuller, he's kind of limited at safety. He is a good run stopper, and he can cover the tight ends. Plays a decent deep zone, but overall his coverage just is lacking, and the discipline is not there, and I think that'll really hinder his ability to be a starting safety in the NFL. And I don't think it was the best pick. So that wasn't the greatest one, but they had 3 more 7th round picks to work with, and let's see how they did. So 7th round, 234th, their first 7th round pick, they drafted Clay Johnston, linebacker out of Baylor. Gave this pick a B minus. Doesn't hurt to draft someone like this in the 7th round. Johnson he's a naturally instinctive football player. He gets where he needs to go to make that stop. And he does make the tackles pretty consistently. He plays a decent zone coverage, and he doesn't really get eliminated by blocks, so he does a good job getting to the ball carrier very efficiently, taking the right angles. He unfortunately is not the most athletic guy on the field, and injuries have not helped him either. So, I mean, if he stays on the field, he could be a good rotational or backup. But again, this was kind of like the guy that Arizona drafted from Cal. You think about his athletic traits, while you think they might hinder him, maybe his instincts and abilities in football and his intelligence in football might actually kind of balance it out and still make him a pretty decent player in the league and a reliable backup for sure. So, good pick in the 7th round for them. They had another 7th round, 248th overall picks, Sam Sloman, kicker out of Miami, Ohio. I didn't get this one. I gave it a D+. I thought LA still has Greg Zuerlein. I'm not sure. I haven't. If they don't, I don't know. But to my knowledge, he's still on the team, and so I can only wonder why the heck they would have drafted Sloman. Career-wise, he wasn't too good. A little bit of inaccuracies. He did show improvement, but his accuracy was just so inconsistent that it really hindered him while he was at Miami. I question the pick, but I may know particularly why they would want to draft him. Zuerlein, a little bit of injury prone. The guy has a boot. He could do kickoffs, and he could kick it far. However, the accuracy is what really gets you, so we will see moving forward if they even keep him on the team and if he's worth the roster spot for them in the end. They had one more 7th round pick. It was 250th overall. They picked Tremaine Ancrum, guard out of Clemson. I gave this pick a B. I think he'll need to gain some experience at guard. He played tackle more. But his athleticism and agility are both good signs moving in as if this is going to be his first year in the NFL. So he moves up to the 2nd level very well, which will help in the run game. But he does need to improve the techniques and skills to become a more consistent starter because pass blocking is key, and if he can't get that down, then he'll probably see less time. But if he gets that down, he already kind of has the run blocking down. So overall, good player, just needs a little bit more playing time and experience at guard before he fills that role as a consistent starter. Overall, for the Rams, I gave him a B. No home run splashes, really. Maybe one. But overall, LA drafted decently, and they took care of some of their needs very nicely. They got some developmental players that we'll just kind of have to see how they turn out in the end. So overall, not terrible, but pretty good. So not bad by LA. And coming up next, I hope to do the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers. There are no guarantees, as all these videos that I filmed today were pre-recorded. So I'm not going to be home for a few days. So Seattle and San Francisco's videos might take a few days to come out. But my hope is that I can get them all out on the same day. So thanks for watching. This may or may not be the finale for this week, but I hope to be able to finish the NFC West when I come home later in the week. So thank you for watching, and